Rain lashed against the windows, each drop a reminder of the turmoil inside and out. Elena sat alone, huddled in a blanket on the floor, her body shivering not just from the cold, but from the emptiness that surrounded her. Her apartment, usually bright and cheerful, felt oppressive, shrouded in the gray gloom of the storm. The once vibrant colors seemed muted, as if the storm had drained the life out of everything. She missed James, missed his laughter, his warmth. The memories of their time together played like a broken record in her mind, each moment more painful than the last. He'd proposed just a month ago, and now a cruel twist of fate had taken him away. The engagement ring on her finger felt like a heavy weight, a symbol of love now tinged with sorrow.
The phone on the coffee table buzzed, breaking the heavy silence that had settled in the room. A sharp intrusion in the silence, like a jolt to her heart. It couldn't be him. It couldn't. Her heart raced, a mix of hope and dread.
She hesitantly reached for the phone, her fingers trembling, her mind racing with possibilities. The caller ID displayed unknown, a mystery that both terrified and intrigued her. Elena hesitated, then picked up the receiver, her breath caught in her throat.
Hello? Her voice barely audible, filled with a mix of fear and anticipation.
Her voice wavered, a fragile whisper lost in the howling wind outside, as if the storm itself was mocking her. The trees outside bent under the force of the wind, the windows rattling as if they too were part of her inner turmoil.
Elena?
The voice sent chills down her spine, deep, familiar, yet distant, like an echo from a forgotten dream. It couldn't be. James was gone.
James, is that you?
You need to listen, Elena. You're in danger.
Danger? What are you talking about? Where are you?
Elena gripped the phone tighter, her knuckles turning white.
I don't have much time. Don't trust.
The line went dead, leaving Elena in stunned silence. A cold dread settled over Elena, wrapping around her like an icy shroud. It couldn't have been James, not really. He had been gone for months, and yet the voice, the concern in its tone, felt so real, so tangible, as if he were right there beside her. She glanced at the phone, then back at the door, her heart pounding in her chest like a drumbeat of impending doom. A noise, a soft scratching sound came from the other side of the apartment, barely audible but unmistakable. Elena froze, her breath catching in her throat, her mind racing with possibilities, each more terrifying than the last. She strained to listen, every nerve on high alert, her senses heightened by the adrenaline coursing through her veins.
Breathes heavily.
The scratching came again, more insistent this time, as if whatever was on the other side was growing impatient. It seemed to be coming from her bedroom, the one place she thought she was safe. Elena slowly rose to her feet, her hand instinctively reaching for a heavy book from the coffee table, a makeshift weapon in the face of the unknown. Elena crept towards her bedroom, her every sense alert. The scratching grew louder, accompanied by a faint thumping sound. She took a deep breath and flung open the door. The room was empty. The window was closed, the curtains drawn tight. The scratching had stopped.
Had I imagined it? Was the grief playing tricks on my mind?
She checked under the bed behind the door, her heart still hammering in her chest. Nothing. Maybe it was just the storm, the wind rattling the pipes. But deep down, a seed of unease remained, fueled by the chilling memory of the phone call. Elena couldn't shake off the feeling that something was wrong. The air felt heavy, and an unsettling silence filled the room, amplifying her anxiety. She retrieved the phone, checking the call log, hoping to find some clue that would explain the eerie sensation. There was no record of any incoming calls. The screen was blank, devoid of any recent activity.
Had I imagined the whole thing? She questioned herself, trying to recall every detail of the mysterious call.
As she set the phone down, her fingers brushed against a small object. It felt familiar, yet out of place. It was a tiny seashell, a memento from a trip she had taken with James. The sight of it brought back a flood of memories, but it hadn't been there before. She was certain of it. The seashell's sudden appearance was both puzzling and alarming. Elena picked it up, her blood turning to ice. It was still warm, as if someone had just placed it there.
The phone call, she thought, her mind racing. The voice, the warning, it all came rushing back to her. The urgency in the voice had been unmistakable. The seashell, it was all too real to be a figment of my imagination. She couldn't dismiss it as a mere coincidence. But if it wasn't my imagination, then what was it? She pondered, her mind swirling with questions and fears. And what danger am I in? The thought sent a shiver down her spine, making her feel more vulnerable than ever.
The storm raged on outside, mirroring the turmoil in Elena's heart. The howling wind and crashing thunder seemed to echo her inner chaos. The echo of James's voice lingered in her mind, a chilling reminder of an unresolved mystery and an unknown threat lurking in the shadows. She knew she had to uncover the truth, no matter how terrifying it might be.